The best way to be successful is by planning ahead and setting deadlines for yourself. When you're running your own online store, there are a lot of things you need to be planning ahead about. That's why in today's video, we'll talk about just that, how to plan your year in advance. Hey everyone, I'm Wes Tate. Back in 2015, I started my own online store, and boy, have I learned a lot from my mistakes. Since then, I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs launch their online stores and start their marketing efforts. Before we dive into today's video, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and click on that bell icon. That way you never miss new content just like this. Okay, first things first when planning your year. What are you wanting to do? The very first thing you need to do is decide what your goal or goals will be for the year. Maybe your goal is to have X amount of sales a month or X amount of revenue. Maybe your store is new and your goal is to grow your social media following or just to add new products to your store each month. Whatever the goal is, write it down and be specific about it. The more vague you make your goal, the more likely it is that you're not going to accomplish it. Some of you may already know what that goal is, and some of you may need to take a time out, do some thinking, some journaling, and figure this out for yourself. A big note for you here, you also need to set a deadline for whatever your goal is. If you're wanting to launch an online store, when are you specifically wanting to launch it by? If you're trying to grow your business, maybe you should come up with a specific number of sales or a specific revenue amount that you want to have and when you want to have it by. Once you have your goal and deadline set, it's time for our next step, writing all of the steps out you need to take in order to accomplish your goal. This step may take some time, and that's fine. The Passion Planner suggests that you set a timer for 5 minutes and write out every single step that you can possibly think of that you need to complete in order to accomplish your goal. For example, let's say that your goal is to launch an online store in time for summer. Great. Here are some steps that I can think of that you need to do. You need to identify your niche audience. What products do they want to buy? Then you need to find a supplier that you're going to use for those. Then you need to learn about their shipping and fulfillment times so you can sell things timely. You want to order samples of some of the products from that supplier to make sure it's a good fit for you. You need to find what e-commerce platform you're going to sell on. You need to come up with a business name, logo. You need to buy a domain name. You need to create designs for your products. You need to start social media accounts for your business. You probably want to run social media ads for your store, so you'll need to learn and research how to do that. Maybe do a photo shoot with some models of the products that you're going to be selling. Start an email list for your store, which means you also need to research and find what email marketing service is going to be right for you. Now, I know this sounds overwhelming, but what we're actually doing is breaking down our big goal into small attainable tasks that we can complete to help us move closer to our goal. Imagine how stressed you'd be if you didn't take the time to write these tasks down and you waited until a month before your goal deadline. It's not happening. Go through your new list and start to prioritize your task. Some may need to be completed in order to complete another task, so just go through and get these in order. Now, we need to set more deadlines. Now we need to set deadlines for each of these tasks so that we can accomplish our goal on time. If you get into this process and see maybe your deadline goal is a little unrealistic, that's totally fine. Adjust your deadline if you need to. Remember, our goal here is to actually accomplish this goal, and if that means you have a better realistic time frame and you need to move your deadline, that's great. Now, get a calendar. We're going to write every last one of these tasks in the calendar throughout the whole year. A tip for you here is to put reminders along the way. It's important to do this for the bigger tasks, just to give yourself a heads up a month or so before that task is due. And with your main goal, it's also a good idea to give yourself reminders at the halfway point, quarterly, whatever you want, just so that you are staying on track. Woo! Okay, that was just your own goals. Now let's talk about the other things that involve running a store. Research holidays. Go through the calendar and see which holidays you want to celebrate as a store. Make a list of the holidays that you want to reference on social media and which ones you want to create products for and which ones you want to run sales for. You guessed it, you're going to also write these in your calendar, but you're also going to include the things you need to do for them. If you're only referencing a holiday on social media, when do you create the graphics for that post? A month before that holiday? A week before? What? Whatever works for you, put that in the calendar. If you're creating products for a holiday or running a sale, plan out when you need to create those designs, order samples, add the products to your store, create your emails and social media posts, and so on. This is a lot of work, yes, but keep in mind, this creates your task for the year and it keeps you on track. Holidays usually sneak up on us. When we realize that it's Mother's Day coming up, it's usually too late for us to add products to our store. So this method helps prevent that from happening. Holidays usually sneak up on us. When we realize that it's Mother's Day that's coming up, it's usually too late for us to actually add any products to our store to try and have a sale. So this method prevents that from happening. If you're using a print-on-demand partner or a drop shipper, be sure to read their shipping and fulfillment times so that way you can calculate when the last day for orders will be for your customers for holiday sales. Here's an example from a previous video I made. You need to start planning from the last possible day that your customer can receive the product to have it for the certain occasion that you're selling for. For an example, let's take Mother's Day 2021. Mother's Day 2021 will be on Sunday, May 9th, which means the last day that the customer can get the product is on Friday, May 7th, because we talked about business days earlier, right? So we have to make sure that it lands on a business day, which is Friday. Now, we need to know what our fulfillment time is. So let's say our fulfillment time is 10 business days. That puts us at April 23rd. Now let's add our shipping time. Let's say shipping time is 6 business days. That puts us at April 15th. This means that this is the last business day that a customer can place an order before Mother's Day to make sure that they get it in time. Now, this is all hypothetical. I'm picking out these numbers. You need to check with your fulfillment partners to see their fulfillment times and all that stuff as it gets closer. Don't come at me if this information isn't correct, but it's an example of how you plan, okay? Now let's add how many days we want to actually promote our sale and our products for Mother's Day. Let's say we want 5 days of promotions and reminding people to place their order for Mother's Day. That means we need to start the promotions on Saturday, April 10th. Now let's give yourself 1 week to create the emails, the social media posts, and anything else you might need to run your sale. That's going to put us on Monday, April 5th. You see how quickly you can fall behind if you don't start mapping this out? Let's continue. Let's say you actually want to create new designs for the products that you're going to be selling on Mother's Day. You'll want to add time in for your design work and ordering samples and things like that. That can put you all the way back to the 1st of March. Okay, you got it. Now do this for all the holidays you're wanting to celebrate and put all of those dates into your calendar. Wow, that was a lot. You have your homework to do. And I hope this doesn't stress you out because that is not the goal here. The goal is actually to help you not be stressed throughout the year. In planning ahead like this, it will increase your sales simply because you won't be missing the important things that you need to be doing. If you learned something new in today's video or want to share your goal, let me know about it in the comments below.